it's not something you can balance. I don't know what the obsession is with Riot and keeping something they can't balance in the game. I think Engage Support's about to run bot lane. We'll get to that in a minute. I don't know who the at Riot runs this. All right, guys, welcome to the #1 place to get better at League of Legends. I am NEACE, and I am here, and I am excited. I am excited. It's very, very busy. It's been a busy morning. So to start, patreon.com/NEACE University. We recorded new videos. Those will be out soon. Make sure you sign up for that. That's the #1. That's a cheaper resource than buying a coaching from me. You can go to patreon.com/NEACE University. You can basically get a fully fleshed out course that we're updating constantly. We're hoping to make the League of Legends Bible, essentially. It's going to give you pretty much every little thing you need to know about League. You can show it to your, you can get it, show it to your friends, whatever you got to do. Help them get better at the game for cheap, and have somebody that's actually able to teach the game, teach them the fucking game, and teach it simple. You can go on over to patreon.com/NEACE University. Peep the sweater, peep the thing. And then also, it's a new patch today. And then also, we've got a new account. And then also, I got rid of I had a wireless mouse for the past like 2 weeks. I've been playing like crap. I got rid of the mouse. Honest to God, I think the mouse, like they say that the new wireless tech is like super accurate and super low lag, but I swear to God, I played Gangplank yesterday and I felt like I was the worst player in the universe, and I really think that it was like fucking my flow up. And then we're also going to be testing the new patch, the jungling. I'm going to start with the plat account. I don't know why I'm on this account, because I'm going to start with the plat account. My initial thought, and we're going to go over the patch right now. My initial thought is that I think that the game is going to slow down. And initially I was like, this should be good for the jungle. It should make the jungle feel better. But I don't think we're ever getting... Again, I could be wrong. And I could test the patch on the, the plat account in Korea, which is pretty hard games. And then we could do, we can kind of do a rundown, or, I'll play Hecarim. I'll play something I'm super warm on, and then I'll kind of give a rundown. But I'll be honest with you. I'm a little skeptical that we're ever going back to a time where jungle is going to be that strong. I really don't. I mean, it's going to have impact, but I don't think it's going to be like 1v9 strong in the way that people expect. By that, I mean, if you stomp a fucking laner, I think you're always going to get more value, but I could be wrong. And with that, it's time to go over the patch officially. Let's see if I got this right. I do. This is a huge patch for this game. And I reiterate my belief that this season, this initial couple months, has been some of the worst League of Legends in terms of a stability that I have ever seen. You know me, I'm a big coach in terms of I like systems. I like things that make sense. I like a strategy game. To me, this patch has not been a strategy game. This game has been very, very far from a strategy game. This game feels a lot like I don't know. In a way. I think the previous patch is probably the best patch in terms of a casual gamer who's an idiot, or a player that relies on pure just mechanical ability. I think last patch is probably a pretty decent patch. It feels like macro and logic just goes out the window. I've got a ton of examples of this, by the way. If you think that it's just me bitching, think about Twitch support's a classic example. It kind of got to a point where Twitch support was showing up in like every other game, even in Korea, and it was obnoxious, and it worked. The guy just doesn't lane. He just runs around the map like a psycho. The junglers don't even really clear. They just take a camp or 3 and they get on the map like psychos. Mid lanes roam around like psychos. The only thing that seems to be stable, in my experience, has been mid lane taking a mage, getting a Rod of Ages, and hoping that the game survives to the point of where they get an insurmountable XP lead, and then they get to run the map over. So to me, there's a divide. In the front end, there's the run around like a psycho, and on the other end, there's the get a huge XP lead. There's no room for anything in the middle. there really isn't much of a conversation being had. Either you get your hands dirty and go all over the place, or you try to get a huge lead so that you can actually like withstand the weird shit that's going on. That's just been my vibe. So this patch is going to be massive, because what it's going to do is it's going to change a lot of stuff that you've gotten accustomed to. A lot of systems are going to be tweaked. A lot of metas are going to be shifted at once. This is probably going to be one of the biggest patches this year. I would imagine that this patch here that doesn't get much bigger anytime soon. Let's put it that way. This is going to fall into probably at the top 3 or 4 patches of the year, I would imagine. I don't think they're going to shake up the game much more than this anytime soon. Got me? So the next like few months, game's probably going to not be switching up that much. I don't think. Anyways, it just doesn't look like it with the gravity of the changes. I've been around doing patch notes for a while. The gravity of changes that are happening, the state of the meta, where I'm playing, yada, yada, yada. Looks like the game's going to shift immensely. So let's talk about why. So first off, we got some simple buff. We got an Ahri buff coming through. Ahri hasn't been doing too hot. Ahri's a pretty rough lane to beat for a lot of the bruisers. Mages don't really struggle with her. A lot of the bruisers haven't really been crushing her as hard. So they want to make it so that Ahri keeps bruisers in line. Cool. Alistar, this is part of a big, wide, sweeping change to make the bot lane more appetizing for engaged champs. Engaged supports. You're going to see that there's a lot of nerfs for mages as well in this patch, and a lot of nerfs to support items that mages use in this patch. We're starting with Alistar. He's getting more health for Alistar specifically, and he's getting a little bit of love on his AP ratio for his Q and his AP ratio on his headbutt. This is not going to make it lane Alistar OP, but it's going to be pretty strong. It's going to be pretty strong. I doubt it'll be OP. There's just too many champions that keep tanks in line right now. I highly doubt. We've got Gangplank, we got Fiora, we've got tons of champions that can beat up on tanks and make them non-existent. Right? What is this music? This music's like depressing music. I don't like it. Next. Amumu. Amumu's getting a nerf because, let's face it, Riot can never let Amumu live for more than 2 patches. Very ABC champion, kind of suicides and dies. They're nerfing him. I know this kind of goes against the engaged supports thing, but you also have to understand that he's been doing pretty well in the jungle, and Riot never likes Amumu being broken in low elo jungle. They never have. They never have. They'll let Master Yi click on people all day, but they'll never let Amumu do it. So it is what it is. And I've said this for years, literally. Anivia, outside of one other blue man, Anivia's been one of the highest winners of Seraph's Rod Aegis buffs, which is what I just talked about going into this. She's getting a nerf. This does not kick her out of mid at all. It's a health growth nerf and an armor growth nerf. She still has her passive. She's still tough as fuck to kill after lane phase. She's going to make her early game a little weaker, but she's not going to really fall off. Annie has been winning after her changes. She's getting a health nerf. She's getting a shield nerf. She's getting a cooldown nerf on Tibbers. This is just a hard scaling, like, or a ham-fisted, like, we're bringing your win rate down across the board. Aphelios is getting a buff because he's weak. I agree. He doesn't really have much time to scale in this type of meta, and he's not that great at the moment. Yeah. Azir, mana costs are going, his mana costs are going up a bit. He is, let's see. After Cast and Rise received nerfs, Azir's been a go-to mid laner in pro play. Oh, he has been doing well in pro play. I didn't know this, actually. Which is a thorn in the Emperor... Or is a throne the Emperor has resided on comfortably for years. These changes are meant to lower suppressive early lane pressure and give him compensation that likely results in overall buffs in the hands of non-pros. So this is pro-focused. I've never seen Azir as a problem, but I'm not a pro player and I don't watch pro, so I didn't know this. But if we want Azir to not be a good laner, it's probably not going to happen. His kit is just kind of... His kit is just kind of nonsense to deal with, to be honest, in lane. So it looks like what they're trying to do is to make his lane phase feel less oppressive. And give him just kind of like, oh, me Azir, me play for scale type of vibe. Which I think is fair. I think he scales way too hard. It's just a shame, though, because there's no real way to play Azir in solo queue, in my opinion. I mean, you can bully with him in lane, but he's so, like... He's so awkward, even in that. He doesn't really, like, 1v9 carry. Especially when you're facing, like... And hear me out on this. Especially when you're facing a 3-0 Jax on the other team and you didn't really get a lead. And Jax has taken all the towers or something. This has always been my complaint with these types of champions. Is in pro players don't have to worry about some champion getting ridiculously out of control. Because they're just not... It's not going to happen. In solo queue, that happens way too often. So, and Azir just doesn't have the tools to do that on his own. Cho'Gath, armor growth increase, Q mana cost decrease, base damage increase. Cho'Gath is getting a buff. I played against Cho'Gath yesterday. He was all right. He was a pretty tough champion. Now he's going to be really tough. He's going to get a buff. He's going to do a little bit more damage. And his mana costs are going down a smidge. And he's getting a little bit more armor. So yeah. Cho'Gath players rejoice. You're going to have fun with that. Elise deserved a nerf for fucking ever. I'm actually going to pause music because it's not really helping me at the moment. Elise deserved nerfs forever. She deserved nerfs, and she's finally getting them. I say forever. Dude, I've been playing in Korea now for 3 months. I felt like this is the most obviously broken champion I've ever seen in my life in this meta, but then again, it's only in Korea that they really get value out of it. But she happened to be broken on this patch. She happened to be fucking insane. And so she has been broken here before I got here, clearly. And she was like super broken now to the point where people had to ban her. So yeah, I'm excited for this. There's also nerfs, there's other nerfs as well to make her early cheesing bullshit less effective. So I think this is going to hurt Elise a lot, actually. We're going to see if I'm wrong, but I think she runs on a knife's edge. If she can dive people in snowball, she's great. If she can't, she's useless. So I don't know if it kicks her out. It might. This might actually kick her out of the jungle. It's one of those things you have to see how it plays and how people that are really good at Elise get value out of it. I don't know, though. I think that Elise will still have a use, but I just don't think she'll be quite as obnoxious. Jarvan's getting a nerf. He got to run on one patch, kind of like Mumu in a way, although Mumu's lived a little longer. But Jarvan's been one of those champions that hasn't been strong in a while. The shield change that they gave to his W has helped Jarvan a lot. You've got a really cool jungling option in Jarvan still, even though the nerf comes through. He's not going to get kicked out of the jungle. Jax got nerfed. His early game's weaker. That is fair. Jax is bullshit. Jax has been bullshit for 5 fucking years. He's bullshit on the rework. He's bullshit before that. He should be nerfed like 3 more fucking times. He's a bullshit champion. He does a billion things well. Like, he's just bullshit. I don't know how else to say it. You can't fight this fucking champion with like all of the roster. Like after a certain point, he's one of the dumbest champions in the video game. This is why TF Blade spammed him for so long. I cannot believe this champion is. I mean, he's getting nerfed. That's great, but he's getting like compensation buffs already. Dodging attacks now increases damage of the spell. I don't know who the fuck at Riot runs this jack shit. Jax has never been weak, for the record. He's like never, ever been weak. He's always been strong, always. I don't know how he's managed, but I think it's... Honestly, I'll give you an honest opinion as probably why. I think he's boring as fuck to play, to be honest. I've never enjoyed playing him. I get that he's strong. He's honestly one of the most boring champions I have ever played. His visuals are boring as shit. His fighting is boring as shit. It's awkward as fuck. He's a dull-ass, boring champion, and he's strong as hell. I think he kind of falls under the, it's like the Kennen. It's like, who the fuck actually wants to play fucking Kennen all day? People that do get good value out of it, but it is boring as hell. But yeah, I'm a bit of a Jax hater. He's still viable. He's not even really getting nerfed out of a... He won't be, because his kit is just good. His kit is good across the board. A big AoE stun, coupled with the fact he can beat all the bruisers in side lane, coupled with the fact that he scales like God. He just doesn't have very many weaknesses. He really doesn't. The only thing that really bothers him is like range matchups. But even then, he can set up a gank because he has a fucking stun. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how broken this fucking guy is. Malphite. Malphite motherfucking rock guy is big. He's been getting bigger and bigger, patch after patch. And now he can even be playing the jungle from time to time. He's getting to the point where you can go to the jungle and you can AFK farm and you can probably hit 6 and kill some people. He's been underwhelming according to Riot, but he's pretty good as an option to stuff like Fiora. Actually, oddly enough, kind of like the Jax and the Tryndamere, all the bruisers. Malphite does pretty good into them. He's gonna do even better. Have fun with that. Maokai deserved a nerf. I agree. My biggest regret in the preseason and the early season and all that is not just spamming Maokai only. I could have probably could have already hit Master right now if I just did that. I only did that. But he deserves a nerf. He is kind of boring, but it's not just that he's boring. It's that he's broken on objectives. So you guys saw that I did the guide where I explained how to abuse Maokai and basically win all the objectives. It's going to be harder for you to do that now because the sapling cooldown is going up 4. It's going up 4 seconds, so that's a big change. And it's also losing its AP value. So yeah, He's gonna be weaker. And Demonic is getting nerfed. Swap the tank. If you want to play Maokai, play him tank. Don't try to play this AP spam shit anymore. It's not gonna work. Orianna's getting another buff. She sucks. She deserves another buff. This champion's near impossible to play in solo queue, kind of like Azir. And it's not as good as those pro picks anyways. Riven is getting a buff. Riven is... I don't believe that Riven's that weak, personally, but I get it. They're adding it. They're making it so that Riven does bonus damage to towers. So now you have Riven as kind of a split push option. I think it's fair. I don't think this makes Riven OP or crazy or anything. I just think it gives a different way to play Riven, which is pretty cool. And she's getting some bonus AD as well. So she's going to have some more damage, and she's going to have some split push power. This might bring Riven back into the meta in a big way. We'll see. Riven's hard as fuck to play, man. So good luck with that. Samir deserves a nerf. I saw people bitching that Samir doesn't deserve a nerf. I just laughed. Samir has been crazy broken, even as a solo player, but duo has been like a crazy abuse case, which is why Riot should remove duo. But yeah, she deserves a nerf. She's been stomping solo queue. Senna is getting a buff, which is probably okay. Senna's been kind of weak for a while. She's just not been doing too hot, and it's not even going to make her that good because engaged supports are about to take over the bot lane anyways. So I don't think this really does much for Senna, to be completely real with you. I think engaged support's about to run bot lane. We'll get to that in a minute. Q on Thresh is getting increased. Cooldown decreased late. W cooldowns adjusted. Shield strength decreased. E damage increased. Now, I've been watching Freak's rundowns here on stream. Freak's the rioter that's responsible for a lot of the changes that have been happening to the bot lane this season. And I agree with him. Thresh is kind of whack at the moment. His logic here was... you know, if you're playing Thresh to put W's on people and shield them, not pull people out, but to shield them, that's kind of lame. And that doesn't really fulfill the idea of playing Thresh, right? You want to hit hooks, big dramatic pulls with the lantern. That's why you play Thresh. You do not play Thresh to fucking throw shields on people like Janna. So yeah, I agree with him on that. And I agree that making it so that maxing Q is more effective is nice. And it'll make Thresh more fun to play. And they're kind of just reshuffling his identity a bit to make the Q feel more valuable. Udyr's getting a nerf. According to Phalaris, according to me, in laning, but according to Phalaris, Udyr's the strongest jungler on the last patch. Personally, didn't see a ton of him, but I ran into the Udyr top variant with the demonic embrace pushing style. That was the lamest shit I have ever seen in the game. I was on stream, I remember that's actually what made me go, well, I guess Garen doesn't really work that well. Was basically, Udyr just went top, pushed into me the entire game, rushed demonic, pushed into me again. I never once had a window where I could kill the Udyr. Even when I hit items, I never had a window where he could literally sit under my tower, I could trade him, and it didn't matter because he put in the Nivea ult on his head and walked away. Pretty much the dumbest lane phase I have ever seen since I've started playing this game. I even said on stream, I was so annoyed with this. I said, this is not what I got into content creation for. So, yeah, it wasn't a lead. He never got a lead. He just pushed. I mean it. There was no interacting with the guy at all. And I was like, if that is a possible outcome, that is awful. So he definitely deserves the nerfs. Demonic's getting nerfed as well. He's getting a slow nerf on his R. He's getting bonus physical damage nerf on his Q. Sounds like it's probably deserved. He's going to be pretty strong still, I would imagine, but the demonic nerf will hit him, and now he's going to have to spec into the other side of the fucking itemization instead of just going demonic on autopilot. Veigar's getting a range increase on QW. I already saw this on the patch. Veigar, this doesn't really like change anything with Veigar except how safely he gets to late game. He's still shitty Veigar early. He's still shitty Veigar late. And by that, I mean shitty. He can't rotate. He can't really do anything other than put a cage down and one-shot people. So this isn't going to make Veigar crazy, but Veigar players are going to appreciate it for damn sure. The good ones are going to love that change because they're going to get through a lot of lanes they couldn't, and they're going to finish a lot of kills that they couldn't. Viego is getting a buff. He's getting a crit buff on his Q. And he's getting some love on his R. So that is actually this champion on this patch. I think Viego is going to show up a lot on this patch. Actually, I think this is going to be a pretty significant change. It's going to make Viego a little bit scarier in solo queue environments. So yeah, expect Viego to have a spike. I already told you guys, Demonic's getting nerfed. It's capped at 40 damage per second to monsters. That means when you're taking neutral objectives and all that, you're going to take forever to take them. Doran's shield is getting a nerf. 4 health per 5 second as opposed to 6 health for 5 second. That's a big fucking deal. And this is why I said this patch is a crazy patch. So you've got bot lane changing, you've got jungle changing, and you've got Doran's Shield as a starting item changing in a big way. And a lot of champions kind of getting kicked around in this meta. That Doran's Shield nerf is massive for the game. A lot of ranged tops are going to be showing up, and it's going to be very, very hard to stop them because of this change. It's going to be very, very hard to hang as a melee champion into ranged matchups. So I would strongly recommend you have some sort of ranged answer, or you play ranged yourself. Because if you don't have that and you go to top lane or even mid lane and you try to get away with going D-shield and just hanging on, you might be a little mad at how low your health is. In a lot of spots that you would have survived, you might not survive them anymore. You understand? It's going to hurt. Support item adjustments. The base health regen is up to 50. It is up to 70 on Target and Relic. And you've got the Spectral Sickle. That cooldown, that charge time is going up. The Crescent is going up. The Spell Thief's mana regen is going down. The charge time is going up. Same thing with Frostfang. So what you are seeing, the summary here, is you've got any champion that's going into poke lanes is going to be getting poked a lot less and is going to be healthier. Okay? Riot really doesn't like this meta anymore. They've been getting flamed a lot by the community, by the scene, by content, by everybody. The meta down in bot lane is Ooga Booga Poke, and you don't get to engage it. That's why you're seeing double range bot lanes over and over again. So this is going to change that bot lane interaction heavily. You're going to start seeing these engaged champions get fed more often. You're going to see less of this like poke lane bullshit getting people so low that they get kicked out of lane or dove or whatever. There's going to be a big change. So this is again another huge change to the patch, or to the meta. Magical footwear runes. So basically what players are doing, they're taking magical footwear and they're selling the fucking boots. That's a strange exploit. I didn't know that people were doing that. Seems pretty smart though. They were rushing their mythic item by doing that, then they buy the boots later. Essentially what Riot did is said, can't do that anymore. You can still go magical footwear, you're just not getting no fucking boot sell value. It's getting a nerf. Treasure Hunter's getting a nerf by 100 gold. It's still okay if you're going to take it anyways. If you're speccing in a domination tree anyways, it's still okay. I don't think this nerf kills it, but 100 gold nerf is significant. So maybe you want to start considering going like out of combat move speed, or going genius or something like that. Jungle adjustments, again, massive patch. That's why I'm going through it quickly. Shelly's range is fairly prohibitive for moving into positions outside the Baron Pit. Use your advantage. I remember this. So it's what this is now the Rift is going to go hard reset faster. So what's going to happen is if you de-aggro the Rift, usually what happens is your opponents come over and they go, ha, bitch, I take that. And your 4,000, 5,000 damage Rift that you basically left, they just come and take it, and it's like you did a big leash. So you're going to get more value out of baiting people to rotate to you, because you're not just going to lose the Rift as a result. So yeah. And you got a pretty big leash range too. It goes all the way up to 1,200 now, which is nice, but it's going to have that hard reset state. So anyways, Gromp is getting a health nerf. So that means that even though jungle is getting a lot of changes, we'll go over those later, obviously, Gromp is a little less fat, to use Phalaris' words. It's a big fat Gromp. So now you're losing, it's losing 150 health, which will make clearing Gromp a little bit easier throughout the entire game. It's going to speed up jungle clears a little bit too. The sustain in the jungle is also getting a buff. You're going to be a little healthier when you clear. This is significant because junglers can get super low just on their clears right now. And a lot of junglers can't hang as a result. AP junglers are also getting a slight nerf to their clear. This isn't anything crazy. Junglers clear pretty well regardless. AP variants, of course. But this is a nerf, and this will hurt a little bit of the clear speed for the AP junglers, because AP has been just dominating the jungle right now. And now we get to the big scary thing, the kill experience. This is the thing that got me kind of excited to play jungle, although I don't think it's going to change the role too fundamentally back to like what we had in the past. It's going to make the role seem not quite so stupid. Essentially what this means is that junglers now are going to be getting... well, I'll just read Riot's note here. Early game League of Legends has become very snowbally. We're paring down early leads from kills so that when someone gets ahead early into a game, they don't get far ahead so fast. So essentially, you are incentivized in the jungle right now to almost spam gank, like a psychopath, right? And that's the only way that you could really get ahead in the role. So Riot's nerfing that and making it less likely that if you get those early kills, you're going to get a huge experience lead. Now, simultaneously, you've got the sustain changing. You've got champions like Elise and Maokai and all that shit getting nerfed. And then you've got comeback kill experience. The catch-up kill experience gained, you get 16 per level difference between you and the champion kill before. Now, it's basically a 20% per level difference beyond the first one. So essentially what this means in summary, you're not going to be getting any kill experience, I don't think, or bonus experience if the person's like a level ahead of you, like you used to. The long story short here is that you're not going to be getting as much XP from kills. You're going to be incentivized to farm more. All right, it's kind of hard to explain and articulate succinctly, but that's the general gist here. Not so much of, let me run around the map and see the kills that I can get. And, oh, that jungler that has been farming the whole game that's ahead of me in XP, I'm even with him in XP. That's not going to happen. I had the video where I showed the Nocturne shit, where I was walking around with Nocturne and then someone showed up. It was during that private coaching. The guy showed up and he was the same level as me. Shouldn't happen as often. Shouldn't really be able to happen now. What does this mean? And this is the thing that kind of got me excited to play jungle. After yesterday's session, I played a little bit of the jungle. I'm not so sure that's going to matter. But I'm going to try it on the Plat account here right away after we get done reading the patch notes. We'll try it out and see how it feels. I'm just going to try farming to start and see how the games feel off of that. Basically, you should be able to farm more and worry about ganking. You shouldn't have to worry about taking every single fucking gank every single time, or else I lose, right? You should be able to farm and not have the enemy jungler just get bigger than you by default. ARAM, no one cares. Clash, no one cares. Party chat. Party chat is a new chat channel, allows you to just chat with your pre-made party members. Chat channels indicate who messages to send, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Behavioral systems. Mute, self, and deafen are available in game. We have seen players use automatic chat abuse detection and muting features in order to mute themselves, which is massive misuse of that system. Given players do not want to use this functionality, we're providing ways for players to mute themselves without needing to use inappropriate language to do so. Mute self will prevent you using text chat, and you can undo this by using mute self again. Deafen. All right, okay, this is interesting, and it's kind of cool because sometimes I want to rage, and I think I would like to have the option to mute self. But if I get mad and I want to rage and I can't help myself, what's the point of mute self if I could just press it again and just yell at them again? This seems like one of those things that's like a really good idea but not executed correctly. Mute self, you should literally just be muted for the rest of the game. Isn't that the whole functionality of it? To be like, I want to rage at these people. Like, isn't that why they added it in the first place? Like, I'm trying to do the right thing here. I want to call this guy a fuckhead, but I shouldn't. I mute myself. I would like this. I would actually like this, except one little thing. I could just type it again and yell at them. Kind of dumb. I think it's a step in the right direction, but it's kind of dumb. I don't know. It doesn't really seem that useful. If it actually, like, gave you the fucking power to mute yourself, I think that could be cool. All right. Competitive. Rank progression at the beginning of the season starts out strong, but as it progresses, it becomes difficult to see the movement in your rank. We want to make it easier to move up and down in rank so that your rank journey is more eventful overall. Right now, moving your rank can feel like pushing a boulder up a hill. So our goal is that if you have a solid season, you'll see your rank increase. A solid session, you'll get a rank increase. Ranked hasn't had a large change in a while now, so as usual, open to feedback and may further change down the road. If you want to learn more about the relationship between MMR and rank, check out the player support article. LP and loss amount with your visible rank approximately matches your MMR 15 to 22. All gain and loss values are increased across the board. A duo in a match has more of an advantage over the solo players in their match when they should right now, so we're making a change that should result in being put in games with higher skill players on both sides. We'll continue to monitor and may not just value over the next few patches, or just, you know, remove duo. Like, I don't know what the obsession is with Riot and keeping something they can't balance in the game. I'm just going to use the argument that I use every single fucking time. For some reason, when Amumu gets to a 52% win rate, Riot nerfs it instantly. But you could have someone run Samira, Alistar, and get a 90% win rate when they could never do it solo queue. And for some reason, duo's still in the game. I don't fucking get it. I don't understand it. It was the same thing years ago when Taric Yi was funnel was a thing. You would have never had to nerf Yi Taric funnel if players weren't duoing. You could have left Yi and Taric alone. And if players would have communicated and worked together in a solo queue environment to to get Yeetark funnels going, that would have been fine. No one would have bitched about that because they wouldn't have been just like abusing some strategy and practicing it and min-maxing it in a solo queue environment. This is fucking stupid. I'm just going to keep saying it's stupid. This won't fix anything. It literally says, slightly increase the skill rating in matchmaking for duo players and ranked in solo queue. So, which should result in them being put in games with higher skilled players on both sides. So all that really means is that they're just tweaking the way that the matchmaking works. So duos are put into higher games. It's going to just be fucked up. They can never match this shit correctly. So I don't know why they pretend that they can. It's not something you can balance. Just turn duo off past platinum. Plat plus, just turn it off. Anybody going beyond platinum is a top 10% player anyways. Turn it off. They're using it to cheat. That's it. It's just a cheat. They don't know how to play the game. Like, hello? Hell, that would incentivize gold players to want to climb too. Be like, man, I get these fucking shitty ass duos out of my game too. Right now, the only way you get a fair matchmaking system is getting into fucking master. That's hard as fuck. That's hard as fuck. You don't even get to play the real game. You don't even get to play solo until master. I'm sitting in Korea right now. That's hard as fuck. I get duoed on all the time in Diamond. That is hard. Dude, if you play against people that are mechanically good, that shit is tough as fuck to do it solo. That's hard as hell. And with every single season, the players get better and better, and more players go, I'm a fucking duo. Because this shit is hard. Can't even blame them. So, yeah, I think duo should be gone. Anyways, end rant. Mythic Shop rotation, don't care. Mythic Shop, you guys are getting fucking scammed by skins. Bug fixes, quality life changes, rune recommendations been added, send a rune page editor. The rune recommended now. Row select to switch champions, rune page selection defaults, temporary slot. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, this is actually huge. Rune recommendation been added. Rune recommender will now remember which role you selected until you switch champions. Rune page selection defaults to temporary slot if a recommended page was used in the prior game instead of your first permanent rune page. If no rune page has been selected. Nice. I think that fixes what has cost me games. Champion select rework, pick to order swapping UI greater clarity. Pick order swapping is new interaction, while champion swapping has been reverted to what it was for pick order. Bug fixes, Don't know if any of these matter to me. I don't care. I don't care. And that is the patch notes. Yay! Yay! Guys, let me know what you think. Viewers in the chat right now, let me know what you think. YouTubers, let me know what you think about the patch. I think the patch is pretty fucking interesting. Like I said, I'm gonna go and log in right now and try to play jungle on the plat account, and we'll see how the games feel, because the games here should feel a little different now. Let's see. And then once I warm up, I'm gonna go play on the main account, except I'm probably not playing jungle. Unless I play jungle and I feel like it's okay, but I don't think I'm gonna feel that way. I don't think the XP changed that much. I was gonna do it, but the more I talk through it, I think it's better to just play top.